name is Pierre du Plessis. I'm an anthropologist and a postdoctoral researcher, co-hosted by the Center for Environmental Humanities at Aarhus University and the Anthropology Department, as well as the Environmental Humanities South program at the University of Cape Town. My research focuses on Kalahari desert landscapes in Botswana and the various ways in which those landscapes are contested. I'm studying the multiple ways the landscape is framed by wildlife researchers, local communities, and most recently the arrival of natural gas prospectors into the desert. In the dissertation, I argue that landscapes are always in motion, and that tracking is a way of noticing those movements, and gathering is a way of describing how those movements come together. The emphasis of my present research will be to explore the perspectives and the practices of natural gas prospectors in the Kalahari. While there's been much research on fracking and natural gas extraction in the humanities and also in the natural sciences, there's been less attention paid to how the actual on-the-ground work of exploring for natural gas occurs. So in a way, what I want to look at is how contracted laborers who are working for these prospecting companies move through the desert, find locations where they're going to drill, and then how do they perceive the depths of the Kalahari 1,000 meters beneath the surface, for instance. It's a kind of phenomenology of the environment through prospecting, but at depths beneath the surface. And this will then be contrasted to the ways that wildlife researchers or conservationists frame the landscape as a space that needs to be preserved in which wildlife or animals move across, or plants and different life emerges, and then further complicated by the perspectives of local inhabitants, primarily San and Kalahari communities, indigenous communities in the Kalahari, who are living in small villages, some of whom have livestock, but many of whom used to, or at one point, would gather or sometimes even hunt in these landscapes, but are no longer allowed to. And in that, I still draw on the skill of tracking and gathering as ways of perceiving the environment. While I'm co-hosted by the Center for Environmental Humanities at Aarhus University with the Environmental Humanities South program in Cape Town, a key component of my postdoctoral work will be to forge and strengthen the relationship between environmental humanities programs across the global north and global south, to try and make connections between students from the formerly colonized world and Europe, so that they can think and learn together rather than the conversation being sort of unidirectional. The environmental humanities to me are a new and emerging field of transdisciplinary study that allow us to think together the natural and the social as a way of intervening in the depictions of an outside natural world as somehow separate from human activity. Instead, the environmental humanities allows collaborations across disciplines, drawing on the expertise of, say, the life sciences and the social sciences, while rethinking the ways that we actually engage with environments, non-human life, more than human landscapes, together with humans.